Long ago, in a far part of the galaxy, there was a powerful alien race called the Xurilians. They lived on a beautiful blue planet with shining towers and glowing skies. Their people were wise, rich, and full of secrets. But one secret was greater than all others: the face of the Xurilian princess. No one had ever seen it, not even her own guards, not her servants, not even the members of the royal family. Her face was always hidden behind a silver veil. It was said that anyone who looked at her true face went mad or disappeared forever. Some said it was a curse. Others believed it was a test. But everyone feared it. The law was clear. You cannot bond with the princess unless you have seen her face. But if you see it, you may never return. Over the years, many powerful alien princes came to try. All of them failed. Some screamed in terror. Some fell to their knees and cried. Some simply vanished into silence. No one dared to try again. Until one day, a spaceship from Earth landed on Xurilian soil. From it stepped a man, tall, calm, wearing a simple black jacket. His name was Captain Jace Marlowe, a human explorer. He walked up to the royal guards and spoke just one sentence. "I'm here to bond with the princess." The guards laughed. "You? A human? No human has ever survived the sight of her." But Jace just smiled. "Maybe madness is the price of something true," he said. Word spread quickly through the city. A human had come to bond with the cursed princess. The people gathered near the palace. Some cheered. Some called him a fool. Even the queen asked him, "Why would you risk your mind for a woman you have never seen?" Jace looked up at the stars. "Sometimes, the unseen is more real than what's in front of us," he replied. Finally, the princess agreed to meet him. The guards led Jace to the chamber of bonding, a round room of glass and stars. As he stepped inside, the heavy doors closed behind him. Darkness. Silence. He stood still. He could hear the soft sound of breathing. Then, footsteps. Slow, careful steps coming closer. He didn't move. He didn't blink. From the shadows, a soft voice spoke. "Why are you not afraid?" she asked. Jace answered, "Because I didn't come to see a face. I came to see a soul." The princess said nothing. But for the first time in her life, she didn't feel fear. She felt seen. Outside the chamber, the guards waited for screams. But none came, only silence. Then the sound of two people talking. The chamber was silent. The guards outside held their breath. Usually, after a few seconds, they would hear a scream or nothing at all. But this time, they heard something different. Voices. Calm voices. Talking. Inside, the human Captain Jace stood still. He did not try to touch the princess. He did not run. He just stood there, listening. The princess, hidden behind her silver veil, stepped closer. "You're the first one not to look afraid," she said. Jace gave a small smile. "I've seen many monsters. You're not one of them." The princess was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, "Why did you come here, really?" "To understand what everyone else feared," he said. She tilted her head. "And what do you think they fear?" "Truth," Jace replied. There was a long silence between them. The stars above the glass roof shimmered softly. The walls glowed with blue light. Then the princess spoke again. "They say my face makes people go mad, that it shows something no one wants to see." Jace nodded. "Maybe they only go mad because they see themselves." The princess stepped even closer now. She was only a few feet away. Her voice was softer. "You speak differently than the others. You're not trying to impress me." Jace chuckled. "I'm just trying to be real." She paused. Then she asked the question that no one had ever dared to ask the human. "Would you like to see me?" Jace looked into her covered eyes. "Only if you want me to. Not because I need to." No answer. She stood still for a few seconds. Then slowly, her hands reached up to her veil. Outside the chamber, silent alarms lit up. High commanders of the palace began to panic. "She's removing the veil," one shouted. "Stop her," yelled another. But the queen raised her hand. "No, let it happen." Inside the chamber, the silver veil slowly slipped from her face. The soft fabric fell to the floor. For the first time in her life, the princess stood uncovered before someone. And for the first time, nothing happened. Jace didn't scream. He didn't fall. He didn't run. He looked at her, truly looked. And then he said just one thing. "You're beautiful," but not in the usual way. Not the way people say it when they see a pretty face. He said it like someone seeing a star being born. A moment of light in darkness. The princess's eyes filled with tears. Not of sadness, but of something she had never felt before. Peace. Outside, the guards were frozen. Inside, two souls stood facing each other. No fear, no madness, just understanding. The veil touched the floor, and there she stood, the alien princess uncovered. Her skin shimmered like liquid crystal, changing shades softly. Silver, purple, blue. Her eyes were deep, endless, like looking into space itself. Her face was not ugly. It was not scary. It was different, strange, beautiful in a way that had no name. Captain Jace did not flinch. He did not look away. He simply breathed in softly, like he was seeing something sacred. The princess watched him closely. Her heart was racing. Her hands were shaking. "You are not afraid?" she whispered. Jace shook his head slowly. "I don't see something to fear. I see someone who has been alone for too long." She looked down. Everyone else screamed. Their minds broke. Some even begged for death. "Maybe that says more about them," he replied, "than about you." There was silence between them, but it wasn't cold. It was calm, warm, the kind of silence that makes you feel safe. Outside the chamber, the royal guards watched through a hidden screen. They had expected madness, screams, destruction. Instead, they saw something soft, two beings standing in peace. One guard whispered, "The human, he's not afraid." The queen stood behind them, watching. Her voice was quiet, thoughtful. "He's the first one who looked at her like she's a person, not a weapon." Far away, on a secret ship, a shadowed figure watched the same feed. His eyes narrowed. "So," he said, "the human survives. That will complicate things." He turned to his soldiers. "Prepare a message to the council. Tell them, the bonding is real." Back in the chamber, the princess took a small step forward. "Do you think I'm cursed?" she asked. Jace looked directly into her eyes. "No, I think you're powerful, and that scares people." She smiled slightly. It was small, shy, but it was real. "You are not like the others," she said. Jace shrugged. "Maybe humans are just more stubborn than smart." She laughed, softly, gently. The sound echoed like music. Then, she reached out her hand, not as a test, not as a threat, but as an invitation. Jace slowly reached back and touched her fingers. It was the first time she had ever touched another person without fear. In that moment, something happened. A quiet pulse of light filled the chamber. The bond had begun. It was a sacred joining of minds, hearts, and truth. Jace didn't fight it. He welcomed it. He saw flashes of her memories. Lonely days, endless silence, eyes full of fear. And she saw his battlefields, pain, but also laughter, and a small green planet called Earth. Two lives, two worlds, now connected. The doors of the chamber opened slowly. Everyone stood in silence. The human stepped out, holding the princess's hand. And in that moment, the galaxy changed. When Captain Jace walked out of the chamber holding the princess's hand, the palace went silent. No one had ever done this before. No one had ever survived. No one had ever bonded with her. And now, a human had done it. The royal guards lowered their weapons in shock. Servants whispered. Council members exchanged nervous looks. The queen stood up slowly from her throne. Her eyes locked on Jace and her daughter. "The bond is complete?" she asked. The princess nodded. "Yes, mother, and I chose it freely." The queen looked at Jace, then at the glowing mark on her daughter's wrist. A sign of true bonding. It was real. The queen's face was calm, but deep inside, she knew what this meant. The galaxy would not stay silent. Far above the planet, in the orbit of Zuril, dozens of alien ships picked up the energy signal of the bond. It was ancient energy, sacred, powerful. A signal that couldn't be hidden. Within minutes, it reached the ears of powerful leaders across the galaxy. On a dark moon near the edge of known space, a room filled with alien diplomats and generals erupted into chaos. "He's human!" shouted a green-skinned warlord. "This bond breaks every law of royal bloodlines." "He'll have power in the Zurilian Empire," said another. "If Earth gains influence, the balance will break." A black-robed ambassador stood up. His eyes were cold. "Then the human must be removed." The council sent a signal through secret channels. Protocol read, "Human threat detected." Back on Zuril, the princess stood on her palace balcony beside Jace. She could feel something in the air. Something was wrong. "They're afraid," she said. Jace nodded. "Because they can't control what's new." She turned to him. "They'll try to break this. To stop us." Jace looked at her, calm and steady. "Then we don't let them." Just then, a royal advisor ran in. "Your Highness," he shouted. "The Galactic Council has declared the bond illegal. They want him handed over." The Queen stood firm. "This bond was sacred. They have no right." The advisor shook his head. "If we refuse, they will come. With warships." The princess turned to her mother. "I won't let them take him. If they want war, they'll have to go through me." The Queen looked at her daughter. For the first time, she didn't see a quiet, hidden girl. She saw a leader, a queen. She nodded slowly. "Then we prepare." Jace spoke quietly. "I didn't come here to start a war, but I won't run from one either." Above them, far in the sky, blinking red lights appeared. Earth's fleet had arrived, and with it came choices. The skies above Zuril burned with light. Earth's ships hovered near the alien planet. Their weapons were charged. Their signals were clear. "Return the human, or we will take him." Inside the palace, the princess stood beside Jace. Her face was uncovered. No fear, no shame. "They still don't understand," she whispered. "They think I'm the danger." Jace held her hand. "Then maybe it's time they learned the truth." She nodded. "Yes, it's time they knew what my face really shows." The princess led Jace into a hidden part of the palace. The walls were lined with ancient carvings, stories written in glowing blue light. She stopped in front of one. It showed a woman with a shining face. Many figures stood before her, screaming, crying, hiding their faces. "This was the first of my kind," she said. She had a gift. When others looked at her, they didn't just see her. They saw the truth of themselves. Jace stared at the wall. "That's what happened to the others," he said slowly. "They didn't go mad because of you. They went mad because of what they saw inside themselves." The princess looked at him with sad eyes. "Yes, my face is like a mirror, a deep one. It shows you the part of yourself you try to hide, the part you're afraid of, the part you lie about." She turned away. "Most people can't handle that." Jace stepped closer. "But I could." "Why?" She smiled. "Because your truth didn't scare you. You've already faced your pain, your regrets, your losses. There was nothing left to hide." Jace thought about the war he had survived, the choices he had made, the lives he couldn't save. He looked down. "I guess I've lived with my ghosts for a long time." She touched his arm. "And that's why you saw me and didn't run." Back in the palace war room, the Queen faced her advisors. "We must reveal the truth to the galaxy," she said. They were shocked. "Show her face?" one asked. "They'll panic." The Queen replied, "No, they'll finally understand. This is not a curse. It's a gift." The princess and Jace stepped into the center of the room. She raised her chin. "We will show them together. Not just my face, but the truth it reveals." They sent a signal to every major planet, every screen, every fleet. A live broadcast. Across the galaxy, beings from 100 species watched. The screen glowed. The princess appeared, uncovered, calm. Some gasped, some stared, some wept, and one by one, they saw themselves, not her, themselves, their fears, their guilt, their mistakes, their buried hopes, and something began to change. In silence, Jace stood beside her. The galaxy watched, not a monster, not a weapon, but a woman, and the human who didn't run. The galaxy had seen the truth. After the princess revealed her face to the stars, some worlds responded with peace. But others, they saw weakness. Some feared her more than ever. Others believed the human, Captain Jace, had used her for power. Messages flooded Earth's command ships. Bring Jace back. The alien mind bond is dangerous. He may no longer be one of us. On Earth's flagship orbiting Zuril, a secret meeting began. Military leaders, scientists, politicians. They watched the footage of the bonding. They studied the energy signatures. They saw the way the princess's face revealed hidden truths. And then someone said what others were already thinking. What if we could use her? Back on Zuril, Jace was called to a private meeting with Earth's ambassador. A cold man in a clean white suit. Jace, he said, we need to talk. Jace crossed his arms. Go ahead. You've made contact with something powerful. Something dangerous. She's not dangerous, Jace replied. People just don't like what they see. The ambassador smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Still, imagine if we had that power on our side. Imagine if we could control truth. Jace frowned. You want to study her? Use her? No, the man said. We want you to bring her in. Make her trust us. You bonded with her. Use that connection. Jace stood up slowly. His voice was low. I won't betray her. The ambassador sighed. Then maybe... You've already chosen a side. That night, Jace stood on the palace balcony. The stars above seemed colder now. The princess joined him. She could feel his worry. They want to use you, he said. Or worse. She nodded. They fear what they can't control. He looked at her carefully. If I stay with you, Earth may turn against me. She reached for his hand. I won't ask you to choose. But if you do, I'll never let you stand alone. Jace looked into her eyes. Eyes that once scared the galaxy, but now felt like home. He made his choice. Then we stand together. But danger was already near. A human agent planted on Zuril weeks ago was ready. He had one mission. Capture the princess. Bring her to Earth. In the shadows of the palace, he loaded his weapon. Time to end this fantasy, he whispered. Far above, Earth's fleet waited. And on the ground, love and loyalty were about to be tested like never before. Because when truth is a weapon, even allies become enemies. The palace alarms screamed through the night. Guards rushed to their positions. The queen was moved to a safe room. Ships in the sky changed formation. But Jace already knew what was happening. He ran through the halls with one thought in his mind. The princess. He found her in the royal garden, alone. You're not safe here, he said, pulling her behind a pillar. Someone from Earth is inside. They're here to take you. She didn't flinch. Let them come, she said calmly. I'm done hiding. Jace shook his head. They won't listen. They don't want peace. They want control. The princess touched the side of his face. Then let's give them what they can't control. Let's show the galaxy who I really am. No more fear. No more mystery. The two of them rushed to the royal broadcast tower. From there, signals could be sent across galaxies live, unfiltered. Jace connected the human channels. The princess activated the Zurilian network. Within minutes, the whole galaxy was watching. Billions of eyes. Hundreds of worlds. Soldiers, scientists, kings, rebels. The screen blinked once. And then, the princess appeared. Uncovered. Unafraid. She stood in silence for a moment. Then she spoke. They told you my face brings madness. That it is cursed. But that was never the truth. My face does not hurt people. It reveals them. She looked directly into the camera. I do not show you who I am. I show you who you are. That is what you fear. Behind her, Jace stepped forward. And I chose to face it. Because truth isn't the enemy. It's the path to something better. Then the princess whispered 3 simple words. Now, look at me. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. And one by one, people saw the truth. A proud general saw the innocent family he had destroyed. A corrupt leader saw the young boy he once was, full of hope and dreams. A thief saw the sister he left behind. And a soldier saw his own fear and let it go. Some cried. Some fell to their knees. Some simply changed. Not because the princess forced them, because they finally saw themselves. In the shadows of the palace, the Earth agent raised his weapon. He had one last chance. But when he looked at her, he froze. He saw a girl. Scared, lonely, honest. He saw himself before the lies, and he dropped his weapon. Warships lowered their guns. Leaders gave new orders. The galaxy paused, and peace began. That night, under a sky full of stars, the princess and Jace stood together on the palace steps. The queen stepped forward. She looked at the crowd. Today, she said, we end fear and begin something new. The crowd cheered. Jace smiled at the princess. She looked at him not as an alien, not as a queen, but as a person. And he, a human, had loved her not despite her truth, but because of it.